Hey guys, first regardsman here. Today I'll be talking about the best team perks for Space Marine 2 in patch 8.0 and tier listing all of them. Now before I actually get into the actual tier list, I do want to say that I did make all these icons myself and they did not all come out as I expected. Some of them had their text cut off, but it's the best I've got, so that's what I'll be using today. So first perk we have here is Strategic Strike from the Assault class. This is a 20% melee damage increase to Extremis and Terminus level enemies for your entire team. That's a pretty strong effect, and mainly for like block weapons with the Power Fist, Block Knife, especially on like the Sniper or Tactical Ambush, and it can help your ground pound on the Assault class itself and help out your Bulwark with his Power Fist. I'd say it's a pretty strong effect. 20% is pretty chunky, especially to bosses with the Power Fist. It's just that it's kind of limited in the teams it works on because some guys take fencing, some guys like the heavy class have basically no melee strategy to begin with, and this one for that reason would probably go into like a high B. I'd say it's usable, you just have to build around it. Next perk here is Advanced Conditioning. This is a 50% slower fade on your contested health recovery for the Bulwark class for your entire team. Very, very powerful perk effect. Really helps out weapons with a slower contested health recovery rate, like bolt weapons, and makes like weapons with the bolt carbine and such go to the moon with their contested HP recovery. Really, really good. It's just that I don't know if I quite put it in S because of another buff they did recently to a Bulwark team perk, but still a very powerful perk effect. Still a very popular pick, probably the most popular pick for Bulwark still, and very strong. So A tier is where it goes. Next perk here is a 20% health damage reduction from Extremis and Terminus level enemies from the Bulwark class with effective formation. This perk effect is not horrendous. It's just that it's not that useful because health damage reduction is not as good as like a flat damage reduction from another perk we'll get into later. And even though it can save you sometimes versus things like a Soul Cannon, all melee hits in this game are taken to zero damage if you have any armor remaining. So a perk like Focus Restoration is just much better overall than this is. And effective formation, while still decent, I would still put it in like C tier because it's very niche and it doesn't come up that often. And the times it does come up would be like with a Carnifex stunlock, maybe like a Hellbrute stunlock, and that's not horrendous, it's just not incredible, and most people don't pick this perk for a reason, so it goes to C tier. Next perk here is Precision Targeting. This is a 25% weapon spread and recoil reduction for your whole team, on top of a 15% Extremis range damage increase. That is just not epic. First of all, spread and recoil reduction in this game is like useless for like 90% of the weapons because they already have really good accuracy variants, or like their ammo variants aren't that bad, and 15% range damage increase to just Extremis is not worthless. It's just super niche, probably like the most niche perk effect in this whole tier here, because like you're really only gonna be like benefiting some of your teammates with like breakpoints with this, and there's this just a much better version of this perk on the tactical class with aligned aim that we'll get into in a second, on top of the fact that Sniper has way better options overall. So this one goes into D tier. I pretty much never see anybody take this for a reason. This one could probably use a rework. Next perk here is Aligned Aim. This is a 15% range damage increase for your entire team on the tactical class. Super powerful perk effect, especially to enable your most powerful ranged guys like the heavy class, this heavy bolter, heavy plasma, even the multi-melta, enables your plasma incinerator, enables the secondary weapons you have as well, stacks with all of your other damage buffs to ranged weapons. Really good perk, probably like the most popular pick for a long time until they very recently buffed another team perk for the tactical class, and I would put it in a very high A. Very strong, very good pick. You really can't go wrong with this one. You know, if I load into a game and I see somebody with aligned aim, I'm like, oh, that's a good pick. I just wish they had the other one, which we'll get into later. Next perk here is Proven Efficiency. This is a 30% gun strike damage increase from the Assault class for your entire team. This is pretty good. This used to be a 50% damage increase. They did nerf it. I only know why, to be honest, because Assault is still like the worst class in this game, even with like this perk getting nerfed. So like it was overpowered or anything. But now we do have everybody with the heavy bolt pistol, so maybe that's the reason why. But 30% gun strike damage is not bad. Every class in this game will be gun striking throughout your team, throughout your gameplay. And I probably put it in like a very high B or like a low A because that's good. Gun strikes are good and gun strike damage is pretty important. It's just that there are better perk effects or team perk effects in this game that I would like to put in A tier, but you know what? I'll be nice to Assault today. I'm going to put it in a low A, very low A. It's still pretty good because gun strikes are valuable. Next perk here is Squad Renewal from the Sniper class. This is a 10% ability cooldown reduction on headshot kill. This is just S tier. Pretty much all ability cooldown reductions are amazing in this game. It lets you get back your Auspex, Iron Halos, your Grapnel back faster, your Bulwark banners faster. Super, super good perk effect. It also has amazing synergy with the Sniper class itself, unlike some other ability cooldown reductions like Inner Fire, and Squad Renewal is S tier for that reason. It's pretty much like a mandatory pick on the Sniper class for the most part, unless you take his other renewal perk, and overall it's just S tier. It's one of the first S we've got on this list for sure. Now, next perk here is the Heavy's Bond of Brotherhood, or Bonds of Brotherhood. This is the, when you go down, you get revived and you come back at full HP instead of like a third of your HP. This perk is not remotely as good as people think it is. It is not that valuable. It requires you to actually die first, and the Heavy has a way better option to keep your teammates alive with the Encompassing Aegis perk. Bonds of Brotherhood is probably the most overrated perk in this game. It might save you like a stim or two, if that, depending on how you're playing, and overall it's just not that good. There is way better options, especially with Encompassing Aegis for a flat out 25% range damage reduction, and this perk, I would pretty much never take this perk. I'm honestly disappointed when I see it on my team, so I put this in D. It also requires your teammates to die, and like if this is a deciding factor in your game, you have way bigger problems. So D tier perk, probably one of the worst perks in the game. I know it's probably a controversial take, but there's a reason this perk has like never been used in like a particularly difficult run ever. Now, additional supplies. This is a 25% increased ammo capacity for your whole team. I'd probably put this in B only because most classes that are super top tier in this game have ammo regen of their own, and this one mainly helps the classes that struggle with ammo, which are just two with Assault and Vanguard, who have like no ammo regen perks. Still pretty good for the classes that have ammo regen, makes them like a little bit more like spend a little bit less, ever so slightly less, in the siege mode with requisition points and additional supplies. It's a very popular perk for a long time in this game for a reason, and I used to take it for a while, but it has been superseded by Encompassing Aegis for me. But still pretty strong. I put it just in like a bit of a B tier here. Next perk here is Inner Fire. 15% ability recharge on Majora's Execution or higher. Super, super good perk. Honestly, amazing perk. I rank this perk super highly, especially if you have like an Invigorating Icon Bulwark on your team. I would take this over Unmasked Zeal any day, and Inner Fire is very, very strong with Invigorating Icon, and really any class team perk like the, excuse me, not team perk, any class ability like Auspex, Iron Halo, even the Sniper's Cloak. It's just such an enabler for your teammates because people are executing all the time. This used to work on like Minoris executions as well. It no longer does, but I would still put it in S tier. It is a goated perk, and there are just so many Majoris in Siege mode and absolute difficulty. This one is just proccing all the time. S tier perk, incredible. This is like one of the best reasons to use Vanguard, to be honest. Next perk here is also incredible. This is the Encompassing Aegis perk from Heavy. This is a 25% flat range damage reduction. This is one of the only ways in the entire game to grant a damage reduction to your entire team. Honestly, ranged attacks are some of the most nuking attacks in this whole game. Things like missile terminators blasting your teammates on later siege waves, things like these soul cannons, things like Hellbrute cannons. This helps with all of those on both Tyranids and Chaos. It is an incredible perk, absolutely god tier for the Heavy class. Pretty much like the best team perk, one of the best team perks in the entire game for sure. This goes into S. 25% range damage reduction, just flat out, is like the only range damage reduction that the tactical can get, period. And really like the only damage reduction he can get at all, if we're being honest. Also stacks to things like scramble targeting, makes your tanky Bulwark that much tankier, and makes you the Heavy that much tankier, because Heavy already has like a 10% range damage reduction while using Iron Halo, on top of Fortitude, on top of Conviction for more health damage reduction. And this is just a huge chunky increase. It's basically like a 24/7 scramble targeting that has no requirement except you turn the perk on. So super, super good. Just pretty much always take this if you're playing Heavy. Next perk here, I actually like quite a bit, which is Melee Champion. This is a 15% melee damage increase for your whole team. On the Vanguard class, this is pretty strong. It would be way stronger if it weren't for the fact that he has Inner Fire and Unmasked Zeal, but Melee Champion, still a very strong perk, and 15% melee damage is nothing to scoff at. I would probably put it in like maybe like a high B or a low A. I would say this is probably on the line of proven efficiency, maybe. No, I'd probably put it below proven efficiency because gun strikes are more universal. So I'm going to put it in a high B. Melee Champion is a very strong perk just because it helps for the same reason Strategic Strike does. It just gives you more damage to your Power Fist on your team, gives you more damage to your block weapons. 15% is pretty chunky, not quite as good as like 20% to Terminus, which is like the best part of the Power Fist anyways, and like what this really what really benefits off of melee damage the most, but still a very strong perk, still very good. I like Melee Champion, it's just not as good as all the other options. Now, next perk here is Focus Restoration from the Bulwark class. This is one armor segment to your whole team every 30 seconds. This perk is like the most undervalued perk in this whole game. This is like a proper meta perk, absolutely busted. This thing, well, maybe not busted, but it's very, very, very strong. It is like over the course of a 3-hour match, this comes out to like 360 armor per teammate, and like the highest ranks of Siege will take you like 3 hours, and this perk just dumps out value the entire time. That's like 90 armor boost. I've talked about this before in an entire video. Really is an S tier perk, super, super powerful, and really the way that armor drip works in this game is just incredible anyways, because any amount of armor remaining will reduce all incoming damage from the next melee hit to 0, including bosses, and armor restoration perks will also trigger into your, or excuse me, they will proc your perks like Conviction for more health damage reduction. So great synergy there, super powerful perk, definitely S tier. Next perk here is Transhuman Physiology. This is a 30% increased contested health recovery to all ranged attacks on the tactical class. This is pretty good. This definitely turns weapons like the Bolt Carbine into like an absolute contested HP machine. He can just like sit there and shoot a guy in the face and get all of his HP back. It'll help out weapons that really struggle with contested HP recovery. Ranged weapons in this game are already pretty decent at contested health recovery overall, but this turns the mediocre ones into like a top tier and turns the top tier ones into like god tier CHP recovery. I just don't think it's remotely as good as his other options, and I would probably put it in the low A. I would put it in low A. I don't think it's as good as Aligned Aim, but it is very strong. Contested HP recovery is pretty damn good, especially since a lot of people don't like they aren't that quick to recover their HP sometimes in like the gameplay I've seen, and overall this one helps them a lot. So I would still say it's like a low A, maybe like a high B, but I'm gonna be charitable and put it in low A. Next perk here is Secure Stockpile. This is on the tactical class. This is a 60-second cooldown for all equipment on your team, global cooldown for your equipment recharge. Excuse me, I'm fumbling here on my wording for this. This is a 60-second cooldown on your equipment recharge for your entire team. That comes out to potentially hundreds of melt-a-bombs over like hours and hours of gameplay on the Siege mode, and just like in absolute operations, this turns your entire team into melt-a-bomb spam. This gives equipment recharge to a class like Bulwark that literally has none usually. It is probably, you know, I'm gonna say, guys, this is the single best team perk in the entire game. Secure Stockpile is like the ultimate value machine. This will push your clear rates through the roof. If you're trying to push the highest levels of Siege, this is simply like a mandatory perk. Absolutely S tier, SSS tier. If there's like another tier I could make right now, I would put it in that, because Secure Stockpile is just incredible. It's a Dark Tide perk from the veteran class that got put in put as a global effect. Amazing perk. Pretty much always take this if you're trying to like run a meta comp. Next perk here is also incredible, Unmatched Zeal. This is a 30% health recovery on any Extremis or Terminus level execution. Very powerful. Maybe a little overrated for some people because they think that like the Vanguard is like SSS tier because of this perk, when he's really not at all. But a 30% recovery on Extremis kills is super valuable, mainly because it saves you requisition points, especially on the Vanguard, the Eastern tier requisition with this terrible ammo economy. But it does save you requisition, and healing is still very valuable, just like an economic thing in any just because of how the drop economy is for like stims and stuff like that, this just saves you money, it saves you resources. It's just super good for that reason. Kind of like it does turn your Vanguard into a heal bot. I do prefer Inner Fire, to be honest, but Unmatched Zeal is still very powerful, and I probably put it above Inner Fire just because healing is a more powerful effect overall, but Inner Fire and like an invigorating icon team is better, if you ask me. Now, next thing here is Marksmanship. This is a team perk for the sniper here with a 10% headshot damage increase. That's not horrendous, but a lot of the guns in this game can't take advantage of that. This isn't useful for plasma at all, so I'd probably put this one into like C tier. This doesn't really benefit your guys all that much. I haven't really seen like a significant breakpoint change of this either, so I'm gonna put it in C. I say it's around there with like effective formation. Not a horrific team perk effect, just not remotely as good as like squad renewal, or even, well, I guess it is better than precision targeting, but not remotely as good as squad renewal. But like, to be honest, squad renewal is like sniper's only good team perk. So this one's just the S tier, and all the other ones go in the bottom. Now, next one here, or I should say the final one, is the Assault Squad Cohesion. This is a 10% faster CDR for your whole team on your abilities. This one is not a terrible effect. It's not horrible, to be honest. The Assault doesn't have like super good perk effects in general, but I probably put this one in like B because CDR is not awful, but like some classes benefit from CDR more than others. Though, you know, if we, I guess by that logic, Inner Fire wouldn't be that good either. Just like, oh, the ability, the squad ability isn't that good. But like, you have an Assault, ground pound comes back on its own pretty fast. This will help with that, but you are losing out on the proven efficiency and strategic strike options. I probably put this one like a low B. I think that's where I'd put this, but that is my ranking for all the team perks in Space Marine 2. Now, I don't think it's going to be that controversial outside like Bonds of Brotherhood. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below about this tier list, what you would rank as the highest perks. I think everybody would agree with like a Maziel, Secure Stockpile, Squad Renewal, like Inner Fire. These perks are just amazing. I don't think like this is a very controversial list outside of like a few options, like I said. But for the most part, the team perks in this game are fairly well balanced outside of like a few classes, Cough Cough, Assault, and like some sniper perks that are absolutely dog shit. But besides that, it's overall decent. I think team perks are in a pretty good spot for a lot of the classes, mainly Tactical, Heavy, and Bulwark, and the Vanguard. But overall, I am looking forward to the patch 9 balance changes, see some of these get reworked, hopefully. But until then, if you like content like this, subscribe for more. And as always, thanks for watching. Take it easy. Have a great day, evening, or night, or, you know, morning, whatever it may be. Peace.